Hello, welcome to the Mile High webinar. This is Dr. Daniel Knowles, and remember, August 21st to 23rd, 2015, join us in Colorado at Mile High Chiropractic Weekend. www.milehighchiro.org is where you can register. I am super excited to be on this webinar with our incredible guest, who is a long-term friend of mine, Dr. Pam Jarboe. Thank you, Pam, for joining us.
Hi, Danny. It's great to be here.
It's great to be here with you, too. And I've got to say that your hair looks great.
Right? It's amazing.
It is amazing. It is amazing.
I just want to say something also, because I worry that people on Facebook don't understand this is just a long joke that's been going on. It's not like I'm really obsessed with my hair, but your hair, wow, you know?
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I worked a lot on it this morning.
Well, I appreciate the effort.
Well, it takes a little extra effort, you know, but it does go a long way. So with being here with you today, number one, you were at the first Mile High event, and you were stellar. And we were so grateful you join us that we're having you come back for Mile High 3. And I want to ask you, first of all, what excites you about coming out to Colorado?
Well, first of all, it's an incredibly beautiful location. You know, coming to Colorado is always a treat. And so anyone that was coming out there would just enjoy being there. It's a great time of year. And I remember on Sunday morning, I went for a hike in the Rocky Mountains, and there was hot air balloon rides. I mean, it's just an incredible setting. But what I also enjoyed was the speakers that were there. There's such a feeling of support and encouragement, great information, really good people. It just had a great I really enjoyed it so much. I got tons of good information out of it, and also just made great friends.
You know, that's a really good thing that you mentioned, that is that the camaraderie and the fellowship and the time together and the rubbing elbows with people that you don't necessarily see all that often, but that you have a relationship with and you're glad to see, that goes so far. And it's as valuable as the time in the event to me.
Right. There's a lot of good information in the event. I don't want to downplay that part. There really is a lot of good stuff. And also, I remember distinctly conversations having around, you know, meals or just being with people. And it was wonderful. It was just a great event. I highly recommend it to people.
So, and I'm super glad you're coming back for this time. Now, you run Chiro Bloom.
I do.
And that's about growing your practice in a life you love. Tell us about what you love helping teams grow and do and see happen with them.
Well, it's one of the things about this is that I've been doing it for 3 years, really quietly and organically. I don't advertise a lot. It's always by word of mouth. And I help people in a very personal way. So we do an intake to figure out what they need. But some people need a lot of help with team. You know, you mentioned that word. It's huge, right? It's one of the biggest challenges that we have sometimes as chiropractors. I remember, like, you know, when I first started hiring people, I was like, this isn't what I signed up for. I just wanted to like help people and adjust. I don't know how to do this. And so I just had some great teachers. So I help people with that, give them a lot of structure and materials. I also help people with, you know, I remember seeing in Business Mastery with Tony Robbins, he said something like it's 90% emotional and 10% tools. And so that's one of the things that I'm really helpful about, people getting over the speed bumps in their own head that are really messing with them. And so sometimes people will have all the right tools, but they're just not doing it and they're stuck. And so sometimes I help them with that. I also have a lot of years of training in marketing. And so I create the materials for people and checklists and create a strategy for them. And so I do what the person is most needing at that moment.
What are some of the things that you think you find teams really have blockages about and help them get over the first one or two humps?
Okay, well, if we were talking about teams just as chiropractors, so if it's not including their CAs, I think one of the big things is what we're going to talk about at the seminar is having certainty and clarity and presenting plans and creating structure for people. Plans meaning the care plan and the financial plan. Being able to talk about those two things takes a lot of certainty and clarity. And so we do a lot of training for that. But when it comes to the bigger team, CAs need a lot of training and training and training and training. And so a lot of times you get somebody, and I had someone say recently, well, you know, I've had the CA for a year. So, and this isn't to say anything about CAs because they're incredible. I was a CA, so I really get it. But I think like 1 year compared to how many years have you been going to seminars?
Oh my God, right, 20 years.
And, you know, your Skype picture, I was making the comment, how many books have you read?
Yeah, dozens.
And how many seminars have you gone to?
Hundreds.
They're never going to get it the way you get it.
Right.
And you're basically taking this person and you're giving them the keys to your car to drive your precious little baby around town, and they don't have a license and they're kind of drunk, you know, and so it's not a good scenario. They need a lot. So we do, you know, manuals and checklists and accountability and training to help them, and also realistic expectations, you know, so that's part of what we do.
Oh, excellent. That's so good. And people are going to get so much out of that. And I'm sure that, you know, they get a lot working with you individually too. I heard fantastic things, and this is part of why I was so excited for you to come back to Colorado. I heard fantastic things about your program that you did for continuing education in Florida. What did you cover there, and what are you going to be covering with us?
Well, in Florida, I think I did an 8-hour program. I can't remember right now because it was a while ago, but it was a lot of hours. So I'm going to try and take the best, you know, the highlights of that program and bring them to Colorado. I think we have an hour, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to be like, blah, 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 but I have a lot of information for people to help them to have certainty. So we used research in order to give people, like, what you want to give people isn't just a lark, and you can stand on solid ground offering the care plans that you're offering. And so we talk about that. We present the research, and then we also talk about how to present things because, you know, if you confuse them, you lose them. That's a phrase that I use a lot. And I use Tommy Boy as an example because I like to have fun no matter what I'm doing.
That is one of my favorites.
The movie's hilarious. And so there's this clip where Tommy Boy, I don't know if you remember, but he's with James Spade, and they're trying to sell, you know, stuff that they've never done before.
Right.
And they're in front of a prospect, and they're like, you know, Tommy Boy's like, you just gotta get it. Like, he just gets so spastic, like, because he's really enthusiastic. But I feel like we do that as chiropractors. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, totally.
We're blind to what's happening because we're in love with chiropractic. And that's dangerous because then we don't really know the marketplace and we don't know what we look like to people.
Well, we're in a completely different world.
Yeah.
We live in another planet.
I know. I call it the bubble. Like, we're in the bubble and we have to deal with civilians, you know? And so anyway, I speak civilian. Anyway, I help people to, like, not do that. You know, I'm so passionate about chiropractic and then I just vomit energy all over someone. And then, the other thing he does is that James Spader tries to recover from the fact that, you know, I'm blanking on the guy's name. Who's the guy in Tommy Boy? I love this actor, and I'm just, like, blanking on him.
I don't remember it either.
Okay, anyway. So he tries to recover, and he starts giving him all this data.
Right.
He's like, you know, the Rattenstein conglomerator to the 47th, you know, hierarchy. And the guy's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So we have to take this information and filter it into human terms for people. And that's one of the things I'm really good at, creating analogies, taking a research study and showing them how to insert it during an exam. So, for example, I'll just give you one example. If a person has an increased thoracic curve in an exam, it's important to point out the finding that leads to 30% decrease in respiration. And so I give you these really easy things to remember to insert in the intake, in the exam, and in your report. So yeah, that's what it's all about.
Awesome, and that will be so
Thanks for
helpful
asking.
to people. That will be so helpful to people, and that's what we want to have. We want to have an event where people get excited, enthusiastic, and spiz, but they have strategies, tools, stuff to take home will help them have more impact in their community on Monday and on that week. And, you know, we're bringing together people from a full spectrum of the chiropractic vitalistic side of the profession because we want to have a movement where people are coming together to make an impact together in this region of the country, which has become so allopathic, and to bring more of a vitalistic, non-therapeutic, oriented chiropractic message and a home for people.
Yeah, it's really great. That's one of the things I admire and mentioned to you before that, you know, I had a chance to meet people I wouldn't normally meet because you are a person that builds bridges, you know, between all these different groups. So I'm excited to come out and make some other new friends, and I hope other people will come too.
Well, I'm sure they will. You know, with that, when you come out, number one, I want to make sure that you know we're going to have the red carpet out for Pam Jarboe.
Red carpet with Pam Jarboe.
Yeah, we're gonna have a red carpet. We're gonna welcome you, as the chiropractic leader that you are, and we're gonna have chocolate in your room and red wine, and just it's gonna be Pam Jarboe is gonna feel like she's just in heaven. So that's the intention.
I look forward to it.
So we love seeing you come out in Colorado. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be even more beautiful. All the people there. Hey, what are some of the people that you're excited to get to see?
Well, I love seeing my girl, Mary Flannery. Really excited about watching her presentation, and Elise Rigney. And I love seeing Arnaud Bernier. Arnaud is responsible for my husband, Steve, going to chiropractic school. So I always love to give him a big hug. And I'm looking forward to seeing you and Rochelle and your beautiful family. And trying to think, Joel Kinch, love him. Found out he's a big U2 fan this past weekend, raving. Mark Swerdlick. I'm trying to think who else is going to be there. I'm blanking.
No one that's a big deal. So
Liam Schubel, I am in so much trouble. Well, of course. I mean, I see Liam every day because he parks himself in a tree outside my window. The guy is stalking me. It's kind of embarrassing. Well, I bring him a lot of fast food because I feel bad for him. You know what I mean?
I understand. That's kind of like how
so, I mean, I kind of take that one for granted because I see the guy all the time. Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
And I hope Jack Borla will be there, a good friend of mine.
Yep, and it's going to be great, and they're all going to be so excited to see you. And so remember, August 21st to 23rd, 2015, this year, hashtag MH3, and we'll see you in Colorado. You can register at www.milehighchiro.org. And Pam, I am so excited to get to spend time with you and for everybody else to just hear your brilliance from the stage.
Thanks so much, Danny. Look forward to it.
You're welcome. Thank you.